Hello and welcome to Third and Long, Australia's newest podcast series. We are going to give 360-degree all-access passes for all things NFL with an Aussie twist. Third and Long is brought to you by Little Birdie TV and is sponsored by topsports.com.au. My name is Mark Goodwill, and today I'll be joined by a couple of co-hosts. Let me introduce them. One is a dual Premiership AFL player and AFL MVP for North Melbourne, Corey McKernan. And secondly, we have sports journalist Paige Cardona from NFL Australia. And previously, she was with both ESPN and Fox Sports. Hello to you both. Welcome.
What's happening, Marco?
Hey, guys.
Hello,
Very
Marco.
good.
Corey, good to be here.
Welcome. Paige, we'll start with you, ladies first, on Third and Long. People will know you well in AFL circles, but you are a massive NFL fan. Die-hard 49ers, as you see, you can dressed up for the occasion today with the jersey on. What have you got for us this year?
Oh, look, Marco, firstly, great to be here on the Third and Long, but it's been an interesting off-season, particularly throughout the pre-season as well. We've seen so much happen and unfurl across the NFL since the Buccaneers held up the Lombardi Trophy early this year. I think we're going to see some big headlines this year. A few franchises I'm really looking forward to discussing throughout the journey, and certainly this year there's going to be lots of analysis, lots of talk, lots of discussion on who might be taking home the Super Bowl this year. But as always, we're not far from controversy in the NFL, so no doubt we're going to have plenty to talk about this year. Yeah,
Paige has got, she'll be kicking off our first segment with front page news. Will be coming up shortly. She's had to reorder the numbers with news overnight, so we'll catch up with that shortly. Corey, welcome. This man apparently needs no introduction, although I've just given him a good one. He's been doing incredible work with his mental health platform. Is called Walk With Me Online. So if you haven't heard about it or something, we'll be talking about it throughout the year and through the show. Definitely check it out. Corey's been in the NFL space for a long time now, both with involved in his Super Bowl parties and also the tours that he takes over to America. Plenty of people will be tuning in to see how Corey goes. He's unfortunately a huge Colts fan. We won't hold that against him. He's got plenty of stories to tell. Welcome, Corey. And what do you expect from Third and Long and the season ahead?
Thanks, Marco. No, well, look, it's not far off that Thursday, Monday and Tuesday are my favourite days of the week again. So for all the Aussie NFL fans, Fridays are brilliant. We get one game. Monday, well, who said Mondays suck? Because they don't. From soon to be, those early season games are going to be a killer, starting at 3 a.m, but going all the way through to lunchtime. And what better way to spend a Monday than watching the NFL and hopefully having a punt as well.
Yeah, we'll be opening up the Little Birdie office early come Mondays, and hopefully we might have some live footage as the year goes on as well. But it's a good little NFL community that gets up Monday morning, and as Corey says, we start from 3 a.m. and go through to lunchtime. But with daylight saving and everything, it actually gets better as the season goes on.
Brutal start at 3 a.m. But when daylight savings finish, when it starts at 5 a.m. and goes all the way through to 2 in the afternoon, what better way to spend a Monday?
All right, there's the introductions over with. So we'll be back shortly with our first segment, which will be led by Paige Cardona with Front Page News.
Breaking news.
Okay, welcome back to Third and Long. This segment, we're calling it Front Page News. It's been a monster off-season and also a pre-season. The news has been going on just in the last 24 hours as we go to air. We're going to bring in Paige Cardona and we're going to go over her Fast Five, the top news items for the week leading in before the season kicks underway. Paige, take it away.
Thanks, Marco. Well, we're going to start in New England, and Bill Belichick and the New England back office have pulled a huge surprise overnight by releasing quarterback Cam Newton from their initial 53-man roster, of which all NFL franchises have had until today to finalise. It comes as the first round draftee Mac Jones put in a scintillating performance in the preseason to put his hand up for the QB1 job ahead of Newton, showing great poise, footwork, and really a great arm that suggests that he's going to be the new offense leader of the new era of the Patriots. Over at the Texans, they have a huge call to make on controversial quarterback Deshaun Watson, who is still facing 22 sexual assault lawsuits and a criminal investigation. The Texans recontracted the explosive QB last year for a whopping $160 million, and the franchise is under pressure to make a call on Watson, who they can still keep on the Texans list via a loophole called the exemption list, whereby a player can remain a paid employee of a franchise while on leave. This means that Watson can be retained rather than be given a designated spot on the roster for him while the NFL and Houston police can complete the ongoing investigations. Over in San Francisco, well, the 49ers have wheeled out their first-round QB throughout this preseason, and doesn't Trey Lance look like a ripper? He's showing exactly why he's more than ready to play snaps this year, and under the guidance of experienced QB Jimmy Garoppolo, he has returned from injury in great shape himself, and the 49ers now are in an envious position where they can enter the season with an option of streaming both QBs. Over at Indianapolis, the Colts have had some updates on T.Y. Hilton, who has escaped a season-ending neck injury, with scans revealing the wideout has a disc issue and will rule him out for an unknown period of time. However, the biggest talking point out of this is that Indy QB Carson Wentz has been put on the COVID-19 list, which is bad timing, having just returned from foot surgery. It's a huge season for Wentz, who came across from the Eagles in a high-profile trade during the off-season. And to finish, over in New Orleans, the Saints have fled Louisiana as the state comes under Hurricane Naya threat and are practicing currently at the Cowboys' AT&T Stadium. They're set to host the season opener at the Superdome against the Packers, and so much remains unclear as to what will happen there. It may indeed still be moved to A&T Stadium, but we're still managing the chaos. It is not the same type of impact and destruction that we saw in Hurricane Katrina some years ago, and so far there's no significant damage to the Superdome. But, boys, let's go back and quickly discuss a few things here. Marco, you are the Patriots man. What do you make of this situation in New England? And is there a fear about exposing Mac Jones too early without, well, at the moment, a genuine backup?
Yeah, it's a surprise decision there, Paige, I would have thought. I think we were only speaking about it a couple of days ago that you thought that Cam Newton would lead in maybe the first 2 to 4 weeks at least. And they would go with Mac Jones as the backup. It provided the comfort that knowing that if Newton did achieve, then they could keep going and protect Mac Jones a bit. But they've decided to cut ties and go one out with Mac Jones. So I can only say that he's impressed Belichick enough and given him the confidence that maybe he sees a young Tom Brady on the horizon with the new era of Mac Jones. I know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think his drives in the preseason, I know it was preseason, but he scored on all of them. I think he went 8 for 8. So he's obviously in Bill's good books at the moment. They've decided to go without Newton. I don't know if there was any relation to COVID or anything like that, whether they needed to carry him, whether he's done anything wrong by the organisation. But yeah, Mac Jones, he looks the goods at this stage, and he's obviously got, Bill's not going to make a mistake of letting Newton go unless Mac Jones is ready to go, in my opinion.
And Corey, you've got some pretty interesting thoughts on the situation at New England. How do you take the news with Cam Newton's, news on being released?
I always thought it was always like trying to put a square peg in a round hole. And when you hear about the famous Patriot way and, everyone sort of the famous mantra about do your job, well, I wouldn't have thought even little things like, rolling up to press conference, let's face it, dressed like Howdy Doody, wearing some of those hats he's wearing. And, even with the recent protocol breach, you talk about adding up all the little things that make you a starter in the NFL. Well, I think all that happened is that Cam Newton in the end gave the Patriots more than enough excuses to let him go. I don't think he didn't make every post a winner about doing all the little things. And I mean, even the way that you turn up to press conference, I'm all for, today's athletes are, they're all individuals and they all want to do their own thing. not at New England. You're talking about Bill Belichick and the Patriots, and I just think all those little things caught up with him. Never mind his performance on the field was sometimes scratchy at best. I think he was 7-9 last year, wasn't he, Paige?
Yeah,
7-8, I think.
7-8. Yep.
So look, I don't know. It's no surprise, but look, I think he might get a job somewhere else as a backup. But I'm looking forward to the era that's Mac Jones. I think it's pretty exciting. There's so many young quarterbacks that are going to be starting week one. Someone has to fail and someone has to succeed.
But do you think? Can I just ask? Sorry, can I just ask both of you that if Newton's prepared or his only option is to go back up somewhere else, then wouldn't it have been best to stay at the Patriots, potentially being the backup, being in the system and having the off-season ready to go? Isn't it a harder clause by maybe the only options he's got, unless a quarterback does get injured, he's going to be a backup somewhere else, which puts him behind the 8 ball going into this season?
It's a really interesting theory, Marco. I mean, I think he's now incumbent at the Pats. That's my opinion. I think now that he's been released, I think he's done and dusted under the Belichick era. But I mean, there are other teams, when you think about it, that actually may house a spot for him. I mean, we look at what's happening at the Cowboys, and Dak Prescott's shoulder is still suspect. We know he's coming off a serious ankle injury that occurred last season. There could be an opportunity there, particularly because they've got no QB backup in sight right now. Atlanta, they've just lost AJ McKernan to a knee and really have no backup behind Matt Ryan. He could even go to Washington, perhaps, link up with Ron Rivera. We know the two shared a pretty special bond at Carolina, where Rivera made him an MVP, and we saw the Panthers push all the way into a Super Bowl. There's also really an opening at the Broncos as well. They've got Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock. Are they going to win your games? Probably not. And, well, the Texans, they've got their own issues, as we said earlier, with Deshaun Watson. So I think he's got options, and he did put out a post today and actually said, "Don't feel sorry for me. I'm going to be okay." To me, that suggests that he's probably going to land on his feet somewhere, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of those 5 teams.
Okay.
But, I mean, look, let's go over to the Colts and your mob, Corey. I know you love Indy, but the T.Y. Hilton injury, that's really unfortunate. But something that could have been prevented is this whole Carson Wentz situation. As a Colts fan, this must be incredibly frustrating for you. I mean, what's your take on the Wentz situation?
It's a situation that seems like it's happening in a few teams at the moment. And if it comes down to being vaccinated or not vaccinated, the NFL have got a real funny stance about it. They're fully supportive if you don't want to get vaccinated, but if you cost them games or your team games, they have not got a sense of humor about it. Unfortunately, I think if you're a franchise quarterback, we did mention someone else. There is another franchise quarterback for another team that
Is that Ryan Tannehill, wasn't it?
There's another one that wears number 12. I have serious doubts over whether he's vaccinated, but we're not going near that one, are we? But no, look, I think in regards to
prize lamb.
Yes, in regards to Indy, look, it is disappointing that they're locked and loaded, and they're doing some really good things over the last few years with Chris Ballard and the way that they put that team together. And I know that by not having Carson Wentz there week one is potentially not there week one is actually going to be. I might actually get the call up, Paige, even with my dinky shoulder, and we might be putting on the pads, because I think the Colts are in all sorts of trouble for that week. Could potentially be in trouble for that week one slot.
Look, you're not wrong, and I mean, just having a look at their schedule, and I had a look at this, and we know that how important the first 5 games of the year are. It sets you up, and when you take a look at this, the Colts have been given the ultimate schedule, in my opinion. I think they have the best schedule out of all franchises this year. They face the Seahawks, the Rams, Titans, Dolphins, and Ravens in the first 5 games. And let me tell you, you are not winning those games with Jacob Eason at backup. I'm calling it right now. And if you do, I will eat my words. But you've also got Sam Ellinger, who's hurt. He's not going to be an option either. Marco, if you're an NFL player, you've got the option to be vaccinated or not vaccinated, knowing the implications. What are you taking here?
I didn't think we were going to get political on the first show at Third and Long. We don't want to be making headline statements of what our personal...
But surely there's a point now that you're starting to lose a competitive edge.
I'll reframe it. No, let me reframe it, Marco. You're getting $30 million a year, Mark.
Yeah, let's throw some context in. Probably some.
Would you get it done?
If I'm getting Brady type money, I'm getting jabbed in both arms.
There you go. You've heard it here first on the Third and Long. We're going to touch quickly on the 49ers now. I'm pretty excited by this. Trey Lance taken at pick 3 in the NFL draft just recently. Looks an absolute player. I'm pretty surprised that Jimmy Garoppolo has come back in the nick that he has. I don't think many perhaps thought that he would be performing pretty well. But Corey, Jimmy G, he put on a bit of a show during the preseason, didn't he? He looks in pretty good shape, and he's been driving with his legs and not so much his arms. What's your thought?
Yeah, it's amazing what you do when suddenly you get a bit of pressure and a bit of competition does. It makes you get up early and get your ass moving and do all the extras. I'm not suggesting he wasn't, but look, it's I think your mob anyway. I mean, you had a lot of injuries last year and you're missing some key players, and it probably couldn't have worked out any better. You know, I mean, in terms of, I know you traded up to originally, from what I'd heard this morning, watching the NFL TV this morning, that I think originally the 49ers had traded up to get, who did they get? We were talking about this morning. My name escapes me.
Who are we talking about? To get Trey Lance?
Yes, they wanted to get Mac Jones first, didn't they?
There was thoughts they'd worked out Justin Fields, Mac Jones, and Trey Lance, and I think they just thought, well, there was a higher ceiling to be had from taking Trey Lance. He didn't play a lot of football in college, and that was what a lot of teams were kind of a little bit apprehensive about. But he's really got some tricks. He's got a super high ceiling, and perhaps you talk about Mac Jones. Maybe what cost him was he doesn't quite have the athleticism that the Justin Fields, Trey Lances, Trevor Lawrences, and the Zach Wilsons of the world in the draft do have. But we're seeing what he's doing at New England, and you made a great point. The Pats, they wait for the draft to come to them rather than going to the draft, don't they? So.
Well, the thing that's going to be interesting, I love in the early part of the preseason, and it does work beautifully in preseason. You know, I mean, when you can all be tricky, you can come in, I'll do one play, you do the next play, and it worked beautifully in the preseason. But I'm going to be intrigued to see whether they, quite frankly, if they got the balls to be able to do that and go into the regular season and see whether they'll do the same thing, because eventually the noise is going to come loud for one of them, and that's the interesting part that'll play out at your mob, because, like I said, I think they get a lot of players back. And, I mean, remember, it was only over a year ago that you played in the Super Bowl. So it is a pretty good team once you get it healthy.
Let's not talk about that Super Bowl, but thanks, boys.
That was Front Page News. Coming up next, Corey interviews Nathan Chapman.
Well, welcome back to Third and Long. Well, every single week we're going to hopefully have an NFL insider. And when it comes to Australia and punting, well, this man is synonymous with punting in Australia. The man who started the famous Pro Kick Australia that's created so many pathways for our punters to go to America. Welcome, my old mate, Nathan Chapman. How you going, brother?
Lovely introduction. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You must be paying me.
I'll send you a hat.
Oh, you do owe me a hat, by the way.
I just got some in yesterday. It's on its way. First thing I ever did.
I know that all the guys on here will be expecting, but how are all our boys looking at going into the NFL season? It seems like Pro Kick Australia have got charges going on in every team, but just give us a brief snapshot of some of the new guys, in particular, Aaron Sipos.
Hey, yeah, I mean, Sipper's done really well. I guess you'd sort of say a dream run, in sense of got the opportunity opportunity after Cam left to go to Houston, and he'd technically been on their roster a few weeks prior before training camp, and then when Cam decided to take off to Houston, then that sort of left that spot well and truly open. And I think the beauty that he had is they knew that he could do what Cam did, and then it was just a matter of he took over. And I didn't have any competition in the off season, so he just had to do his job. So really credit to him for doing that so far. And he sent me a message this morning saying he was pretty excited.
And Chappie, on the other scale of things when it comes to the punters, we've seen the 53-man roster now has been cut for all teams in the NFL. Unfortunately, two of our guys, Jordan Berry at the Steelers and Max Duffy, who tried out with the Broncos, got across to the Vikings for a crack. Neither have been listed. What happens to them now, and can you kind of explain to us what the punting merry-go-round looks like now for guys who haven't made the initial roster?
Yeah, a little bit of a different journey for both of them. Jordo's been in the league, 6 years, so he's sort of he's got plenty of film and they know what he's about. He's a veteran of sorts, and so for Jordo's journey now, it's in the past has been once you move, you either get picked up straight away, so they get released and they're on the waiver wire for 24 hours, and then the club has a chance to bring them back in on the practice squad if they want. They picked up Presley Harvin in the draft, so they might want to bring Jordo back. They might want to just have that as a security blanket for a little bit. It's a tough place to punt there at the Steelers. But typically, from a veteran, every other team seems to be settled. This is our guy. This is who we're going to run with. But by week 4, that's probably when the teams are again deciding whether they're happy with what they've got. And that's when the veterans would probably get a phone call to come in for a workout. So for Jordo, probably might be quiet unless he gets on a practice squad, or about week 4 if another team's having any dramas. And for Max Duffy, Max is a little bit different. If you don't spend enough time in the preseason or in training camp, then generally other teams, there's other guys who have showed their wares, played in preseason games, and they're generally the first guys to be brought back. So Max will be back to the drawing board, probably have some workouts here and there, but it'll be probably more setting up for next year. That's the general way it always generally works.
And Chappie, how much of a role are you still playing? Sorry, Paige, but so how much of a role are you still playing with those guys once, they get a bit of a kick in the backside? And for those that don't know, you can effectively lose your spot just over a couple of bad kicks. So what sort of a role are you still playing? You got many of the Chargers that are still in the NFL. What sort of a role are you still playing with them when it comes to that?
They're all a little bit different. Sometimes it's just a support role. I mean, again, COVID, makes it hard for us to do much, but still get some film sent back from the guys. Hey, take a look at this. They try and keep on top of it. If they're feeling good, they're okay, and it's just touching base every now and again. But again, I've got, at certain stages, the guys will go through a period where they just really want to nail in what they're doing and getting ready for that either pre-season and want a little bit more height or a little bit more distance, and just to go over some old, training habit or some film and just say, okay, keep an eye on this and go over some technical stuff, just to know they're on the right track, and then they've got something to work at during the week and for the weeks following. So pretty much support from here on in. Not much we can do except have these Zoom sessions and have a chat, make them feel good and happy and confident, and send them back out there, because it is a tough role to have. You want to be on top of your game, but certainly also feeling confident and comfortable and having that support's a great thing.
And talking about the guys that are still in the system, Mitch Wishnowsky, the 49ers, they're tipped to go pretty deep this year. They got quite a few guys back. They were decimated by injury last year. What kind of season can you sort of see Mitch having at the 49ers if they're to really kind of proceed deep into the postseason?
I guess the beauty about what Mitch has got, and any strong offense, Mitch has got great control over his going in kicks and his shorter range. He's got a cannon, which, there was a couple of demonstrations of that on the weekend. So each team's a little bit different, but those those teams that are going to score well and score often, that you probably find that they get to about halfway. So where he becomes really important is putting that ball at the 7-yard line and making sure there's no touchbacks and giving the opposition plenty of field to have to track down. So, he can be quite a weapon, old Mitch. And you'd sort of think, though, that, kicking those 2 or 3 balls a game, you'd probably think, if they're going to go well, that he's going to have to earn his money sometimes and kick the long one, but it's going to be the going-in stuff that's just going to help him a lot.
And Chappie, you must have had a little bit of a chuckle at different times that, when the punters do these kicks and they try and rename them and there's spinners and all these sorts of things, you must have a little bit of a chuckle at that, because seriously, if you had that much ball control, I think you'd be a magician if you could actually pick that out, that you could do that. You must have a bit of a laugh at that at certain times when people think that they make it can spin like a Titleist and spin it back off the green.
Yeah, well, I guess I'd like to just pleasantly agree with it and say, yes, we can do it. So get more of our guys and let us show you how to do it. I mean, there's you could probably put the odds in your favour to how you want it to land, and there's a bit of a way to do it, but you typically can't dictate which point of the ball it's going to land on after it travels 65 yards and rotates 300 times. So you would be a magician for sure.
Now, I'll ask one final question and then I'll throw to Paige and then I'll wrap it up. But if you could take all the parts of different parts of our Aussie punters at the moment, like what are the parts would you take? Like you obviously maybe the mindset, and then obviously you mentioned the leg and everything like that. But if you could, it's a bit like a golfer. If we could put together the dream golfer, having Tiger Woods' brain, Adam Scott's driving ability, and maybe Jordan Spieth's putting, what would be the prototype that you'd pull together the parts of some of the Aussie punters that we nearly have the perfect punter?
Yeah, right. Okay. Good. Jordan Berry's flexibility, I know that. His leg, he goes straight up. You'd go Michael Dixon's confidence, the way he just absolutely does whatever the heck he wants, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
I like the touch of Mitch Wisniewski. I like the venom of Cam Johnson. And you know what? I love the fluency of Aaron Sipos. There is a real blend. Hey, Sipper's leg, he looks so comfortable back there at the moment. But just, knowing him and knowing his personality and the giggle that he has along the way with it, he's so well suited to this. The nature of the job about, performing and, let's say, not taking it serious. Of course, he takes it seriously, but that ability to look back and get over things really quickly. So, there is a real blend. Oh, Cam Johnson, he's a nuggety fireball. It just explodes through it. Mitch Wisniewski's so calm in the mind and looks so relaxed, but he's got such a powerful leg. And Digger goes into it like, here, watch this. I'm going to literally put on a show every time I kick it, and this is going to be crazy mayhem every time I go out to play. So it's pretty good to watch, absolutely. And I think, and I've sort of said it for a while, I just still reckon that there's more coming. I think there's going to be more to it. And we've had a couple of guys actually go into the CFL this year, and there's actually been now a bit more time spent on in the pro sense in the CFL, where they've moved the pocket a bit. There's been a bit of kicking the ball on the run. I think it now gives the NFL a real chance to see it work at the top level and see how they can open it up and see if it's going to work, because I reckon there's a real spot for it. So I'm excited.
And Chappie, you spoke then about what is next to come. And speaking of those guys that might be next to come, Lou Henley is draft eligible this year, has been awesome at the U. Also, we've got Bailey Rice, who's just signed over there, as well as Mason Fletcher. What can you tell us about these guys that have got this AFL background that are now making waves in the US, coming into the college system and, potentially looking at being drafted, if not picked up as a free agent in the coming years?
We're super excited about this season. It was a weird, the COVID year last year was sort of weird the way it all played out, and there wasn't as much fanfare, and the seasons were disjointed, and the games you didn't know if you were going to play. So and everyone would have felt the there was no fluidity of momentum, and people didn't know if they were going to play or where they were going to play, and things were changed. And I feel as a collective, there are a number of guys who, because of the NCAA rules, got a chance to play again and play another season. And, we've got this feeling that everyone's so eager that last year's guys are going to really turn it up a notch. But we have some super, super talented guys coming through that are going to add to that. And so, it changes week to week about what situation you're going to be in, but we're absolutely pumped and feel like that it's going to explode in terms of the creativity, performance, and all that type of thing. I think everyone's pretty keen to get back, but yeah, there's some talented guys ready to rip in.
Yeah, look, Chappie, look, on behalf of Third and Long, I know it won't be the last time that we'll talk this year, but look, I know all the Aussie NFL fans out there love how the Australian flag flies very, very high and see the impact that our boys are having on the game. I'm sure you can't fit in an AFL MVP that used to have a really good booming leg, as you know. Can't fit me in now, but I would have loved to have done it. No, but look, a big thanks on all the team at Third and Long, and we look forward to catching up with you during the year, and let's hope our blokes kill it once again.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited, but I'm not that excited to be getting up at 2:00. I'll put it on replay and catch it at 7:30.
Yeah, pretty harsh, but they're the hard yards, mate, to watch the NFL. That's what we've got to do in Australia, so no softness, Chappie.
Oh, okay, I'll take the softness tag. I'll see you at 7.
All right. We'll see you during the year, mate. Thanks for coming on.
No worries, guys. Good talking to you.
Well, that was Nathan Chapman from Pro Kick Australia. Stay tuned because we are now taking it to the house.
Welcome back, guys. Next segment is To the House, brought to you by topsport.com.au, family owned and operated for the last 35 years. Bet with a bookie you can trust, bet with topsports.com.au. To the House is where we're going to talk about all things betting for NFL, and what better man to join us on Third and Long than Nick Toprope Tedeschi. Little Birdie viewers would have seen him cover the NRL, the golf majors, and recently the Olympic Games. So now we gear up for the NFL. Toprope, welcome into Third and Long.
Great to be here and great to see you in the hot seat there, MG.
Yeah, working overtime here, Toprope. Welcome to the house. This is a segment all built for yourself on all things betting in the NFL. So how do you see the year panning out this year, Toprope?
Yeah, look, first of all, it's just fantastic to be back. There's something to be said about the scarcity of games, and one NRL season seems to roll into the next, and you kind of get that with a lot of sports, golf and whatnot. The NFL, there's a fair off season between the Super Bowl in early February and opening day in early September. I'm absolutely busying, as they say. So, look, I think it's going to be a fascinating season, particularly with the spectre of COVID hanging over it all and kind of the new protocols in place. I think we've seen, recording today on Wednesday, Cam Newton axed by didn't make the 53-man roster for the Patriots. There's no doubt that's had something to do with COVID, as far as I can tell, as well as Mac Jones obviously out playing. So that's definitely going to kind of come into the week betting. In terms of the season long stuff, look, on the AFC side of things, Kansas City are again the team to beat, but I think the challenges are certainly coming from a few different areas. From my point of view, I think the number one challenger on the AFC side is the Baltimore Ravens. I'm very much not buying into the Cleveland Browns hype this year. I think that may be a little overegged. I'd still rather be on Baltimore to win that division. I think we're going to see some improved performances from the Chargers and the new coach, Brandon Staley. I think the Patriots have been severely underrated this year. Teams that we're looking to take on, Buffalo, I'm not sure they're going to reach the same heights as last year, and the aforementioned Cleveland. I think the NFC side is a lot more open. I'm looking at the 49ers for a big bounce back season following the spate of injuries they had last year. They were one of the most injured teams kind of the last 30 years in the NFL, so I'm expecting them to perform a lot better. And Trey Lance, he'll be transitioned to at some stage this year. Tampa Bay, it's pretty hard to take on Tom Brady. I think the Packers with Aaron Rodgers, what will be his, or what could be his final year with them? I think you get a Super Bowl champion, or at least an NFC champion from probably 3 to 4 divisions there.
Okay, guys, so what we're going to do each week at the panel of 4 that you see on the screen will be granted $100 to invest. We're going to start off this week with our Super Bowl prediction. So we'll each have $100 coming up in the betting segment for who we think will win the Super Bowl, and all profits throughout the year, both for the Super Bowl and our weekly predictions, will be tallied up, and they will go to Corey's platform, which is called Walk With Me Online. Corey, do you just want to come in and explain a bit about what your platform's about for mental health?
Yeah, really quick. You guys got to pull your fingers out, because all the money goes to Walk With Me Online. Look, Walk With Me Online, it's a platform that helps people with their physical and mental fitness. So, yeah, for everyone out there, it's a great resource, especially in times like these. So all of you, make sure you pull your finger out. We want to see lots of money throughout the year, so rip into it.
What's the website there, Corey? So our viewers can then go and check it out, see what you're all about.
Just walkwithmeonline.com, and you'll be able to find out all the details there.
There you go. And you know what? Coming off the back of that, Corey, we know it's an awesome time of year. It's time for the bold predictions, isn't it, boys? I think it's time to have a look at how the season may unfurl. We've seen so many changes to rosters, some key kids that have been drafted, that are playing starting roles, and we've seen a lot of movement from vets as well that are taking up spots at opposition teams. So let's just get straight into it. The AFC. Now, this is a jam-packed conference. Marco, give us your tip. Who's going to be the AFC winner this year?
Okay, Paige, I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills. I know it's hard to go past the Chiefs, but I just think the Bills got close last year in the championship game. They weren't too far away. They look a well-balanced side going into this year, and I just think the gap in the betting at the moment, the Chiefs being at 350 to the Bills 650, I'd be with the Bills at 650.
Corey, your thoughts?
Come on, Marco. You can't go past Kansas City. He's finally got some support, Patrick Mahomes. I do think I would love to see that for the AFC Championship, though, Kansas City versus Buffalo. I think that'd be a fantastic match. But for mine, it's Patrick Mahomes and those guys winning that division.
Well, look, you guys have made some, pretty good picks there. I just think there might be a bit of a fairy tale brewing here, and don't know, something's telling me about the Browns. I think Baker Mayfield and those guys put a good season together last year. I don't know. I'm going to get trashed for this all year, and I welcome that. OBJ, he's back in business. I like him, but I'd be having a look at the Ravens, Titans as well, I think, in the AFC. But, Nick, tell us, where's the money going?
Money has been for your Browns. They've certainly been well supported over the off.
Oh, you're kidding.
Crash me now, blokes. Righto.
I can't find a metric to support them, but that's where the punters are all over.
Cinderella story, I'm telling you.
And yours, MG, they've come for Buffalo as well, and they're another team that I can't get behind. For me,
what about the Chiefs, Nico?
Chiefs are solid. Everyone's all over the Chiefs. So
it's too easy backing the Chiefs.
Yeah, too easy. Look, Chiefs are going to be hard to beat, no doubt about that. But I'm going to go with a bit of value as well. I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens at $8. They had a pretty poor record in close games last year. There was a few bits and bobs. Not that worried about the J.K. Dobbins injury. I think they will have a unique game. So I think they'll be hard to beat this year.
The NFC winner. Now, this one seems to be, I feel like it's the express lane ticket. You win the NFC, obviously, you have a good season in the NFC, and you're going straight to this playoff game. Marco, take us away. Who have you got?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's going to be that easy. I mean, you might have said that last year, and Tampa Bay end up winning the Super Bowl, so it could be something similar this year.
Yeah,
Paige, I'm going to make your day. I'm going to support your 49ers. I'm going to rule a line through last year. They just had far too many injuries. They binned the year. I'm going to take a form line through 2019, where they unfortunately lost the Super Bowl. I think they got all their players back. They got a lot of weapons. They got sold at the quarterback. Whichever way they play, I think it'll be a positive. So I think at $7 for me, the 49ers is where I will pin my money.
Kittle, Bosa, Garoppolo, all back. Oof, I'm excited. Corey, what about you?
You're easily excited, Paige. You broke for Collingwood. Now, I do like the 49ers. I do like Paige's 49ers and what they're about to get back. But that said, I did watch. I never have thought that a person that was 45 or 46 years old is actually getting better. I was watching the way that Tom Brady was throwing the ball, and if he maintains that and they've got all the same weapons from last year and a preseason under their belt, they are going to be super hard to beat. So they are my winner of the NFC.
22. All 22 starters retained. We have not seen that for quite some time.
Never happened before.
Exactly. So, I mean, they're only getting better, I feel. Look, I'm not going to not back my team, the 49ers, but I think there's a bit of discussion that probably, could be had around the Rams. They've got the number one defense in the NFL. They are phenomenal defensive outfit. So I just think there might be something brewing there in LA. And I wouldn't mind having just a little look again at the Packers. You just never know what's going to happen there. But
Paige, sorry, the thing with the Rams too, we're finally going to see Matt Stafford had always, he'd been the shining light always on Thanksgiving for the Lions. Now we're really going to see what he's like in the bright lights in the big city of Los Angeles. So that's going to be one to look forward to.
Well, look, he's either going to stump up or he's going to shit the bed, isn't he, Corey? So we'll find out very quickly. But Nick, tell us, where's the money going in the NFC?
Yeah, money has definitely been coming for the 49ers. They are certainly the street corner tip to win the NFC. Here, once all the analytics guides have come out, they are absolutely kind of firming they have leapfrogged the Rams to win the NFC West as well. So in terms of betting, for mine, there are only 4 teams that can win the NFC. The Packers, Tampa Bay, San Francisco, and I think the smoky is the Minnesota Vikings. I think they are severely underrated this year. Look, my tip will be the San Francisco 49ers. I think they are well balanced. They're well built. They're really well coached. And I think, kind of like you guys have all said, they really tossed the towel in last year. It wasn't about winning last year. It was about getting ready for this year. I think they are excellent value to win the NFC. You get $7.50 then to win the NFC.
Well, it's lovely to have you all on board. I welcome more bandwagon supporters onto the 49er train. It's good to have you here. Super Bowl, boys. This is the big one, the big ticket item. We've said the NFC may have the easier side of the draw. AFC's jam-packed. Who's going to lift the Lombardi trophy there, Marco? Who have you got for us?
Yeah, this is where the money's going to kick off for the start of the year for Corey's walk with me online. I'm going to stick with the Buffalo Bills. I just think they had a taste for it last year. I like sides that have gone close. I think they'll improve on the back of a quarterback that has a lot of upside. I just think at the $10, I think Buffalo Bills will give you a good run for your money. So for Corey's walk with me online, I'm putting my $100 on Buffalo Bills.
Corey, your thoughts? Where's your money going?
Well, given I have hoisted the Lombardi Trophy in Indianapolis, I would think...
Head wobble. Is there anything you haven't done, mate? Or
no, not much. Not much I haven't. I reckon, look, Patrick Mahomes, look, if we all saw the Super Bowl last year, he was getting chased around like a chicken and had no support. Now, in the off-season, the Chiefs have actually done something about it. I'm just backing him to come back. And mind you, the dream Super Bowl that I'm after, I want to repeat and see what happens with a fair fight. Let's have a fair fight with Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, and then we can see, who comes out on that battle. Because last year it wasn't a fair fight with the injuries they had. So I'm going for Kansas.
Well, I'm going to stop you right there. It's going to be the 49ers, boys. There's
there's
the
a shock.
49ers are just going. They're going for revenge, and you know what? They're going to do it against KC. Jimmy Garoppolo, he's put it all behind him. All right, I'm convinced. We know he had a mare, but
you're putting your whole faith in Jimmy Garoppolo, are we?
No, I'm putting it partially in Jimmy Garoppolo, but mostly in Trey Lance.
It's 50 cents each way.
I'm going to back the 49ers to turn it around big time this year. But, Nick, what are we looking at in the market?
Yeah, favourites definitely Kansas City and Tampa Bay on the second line of betting there. I'm going to go with the Ravens to win it all. Definitely like the 49ers play there, but I'm going to go with the Ravens at around $15 to get the cash. I just think Lamar's in for a bit of a bounce back season. I think they've got some support at wide receiver. They were, of the teams that went well last year, the key metrics I look at in terms of close games and a few other kind of indicators there all point to an improved season. So I think we could be looking at a 1 or 2 seed there for the Ravens and a chance to go all the way.
Well, they did say last year that it was Super Bowl or bust coming into 2021. So you might be onto something there, Nick. But the MVP is something that it's been such a quarterback winner's award over the years, isn't it? There's always a QB that puts their hand up for this award. Marco, who are you tipping for the MVP this year?
Except for that place kicker that you told us that won it in 82 earlier in the show.
Not a place kicker. I mean, what happened to everyone else? Did everyone else just fall over?
I'm not sure that's a fact.
That's what Google told me,
MVP,
Marco, and I believe it.
That's fact. That's fact, MG. That is fact.
Thank you very much. See, you should come on more often, Nick. You're gonna be out of a job soon, Marco.
And he's wearing a 49ers cap. Look at him when he dips his lid. Fair income. I'll tell you what. Where'd you buy that from?
49ers since Don Lane introduced me to Joe Montana.
Fair enough.
There you go. There's not much other reason to do so. But
sticking fat.
Marco, who have you got for MVP for us, mate?
Well, since I'm going to stick with Buffalo Bills going all the way, I'm going to have to back the quarterback in. So I'm a bit all in, and I'm going to go Josh Allen again around the $10 mark. I think he has a lot of weapons both through the air and on the ground. So I think at $10 he's going to give you a good run for your money because Buffalo will be at the top end.
Corey, who have you got for us?
Yeah, I'm gonna buck the trend of the whole Mahomes train in Kansas City, but yeah, I tend to agree with Marco with the year that he had last year. I think Josh Allen, and I do like those odds at $10. So Josh Allen for the MVP. I
would love to see the trend bucked here in terms of it being a QB's role, but I really do wonder if there'd be any love for Aaron Donald from the Rams to as a defensive player to actually win it. He's a monster, absolute monster. I think every franchise would want him on their roster. But look, I couldn't even tell you, can a tight end win it? I don't even know. I feel like a guy like Stephon Diggs might actually be someone that might be worth having a look at. I think he had a tremendous season last year, and if we're stepping out from the QB trend, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a wide out like a Stephon Diggs or a Tyreek Hill or something like that. It'd be quite interesting. But Nick, what about you? Where's the money in terms of the MVP market?
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes, clear favourite. I think Aaron Rodgers is probably my pick among the top echelon there. Josh Allen's been heavily supported, but where I'm going to go, I'm going to go a little wide. I'm going to go at 20-1 Russell Wilson at Seattle. I think they're going to be airing the ball out quite a bit. I love the Gerald Everett signing. I think he's a little is he fit over the off-season to kind of get a bit more support there? I think we're going to see Seattle with a much more balanced and a much more long-lasting offense this year.
Now, Nick, when you were saying that, I was actually thinking who was good value. And I know in the off-season that Russell Wilson has been working with Tim Grover. Now, for those that don't know Tim Grover, he was actually Michael Jordan's one-on-one coach. So in the off-season, I know that Russell Wilson's actually been working with him one-on-one. And I thought, when you said it, 20-1, that's very juicy, people. Get on it.
Absolutely. So I think Seattle are a pretty good year in a pretty tough division. That division could could conceivably see 3 playoff teams kind of advance in that one. So, look, Wilson gets a lot of love as well. Wilson, I think, was the favourite through 6 to 8 weeks last year. So
He was.
I think we're going to see a pretty good year. I just think Seattle are going to be built for a bit more of a bit more sustainable this year than they were last year.
And lastly, I love this market because I'm just a bit of a draft nuff. But the Rookie of the Year, I know we love to look at the offensive Rookie of the Year and the defensive Rookie of the Year, and everyone gets an award for something or other. But who can foreseeably win Rookie of the Year? I reckon there's probably someone that you're well and truly on the bandwagon of, given the news overnight, Marco. Who's your tip for Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, obviously Mac Jones is he's now into favourite at $4 with Cam Newton departing, so he's been the number one choice. But I'm going to stick out wide with your team again, this theme of the 49ers. I think if you're going to go deep, I'm going to be on the back of Trey Lance at $8. He's about, fifth pick in the market at the moment. So I think he's a bit more value than Mac Jones over $4.
Corey, what about you?
As I mentioned, not all of them can be a success straight up, can they? You've got Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones and Trey Lance. Someone has to fail. But look, the one I'll go with, I think Trevor Lawrence. I think what he's been doing thus far, had a good last game in the preseason and looks incredibly comfortable, and he's got composure beyond his years. But the real stuff starts, and this is where it all gets serious this week, and we're going to find out. But he's my pick for Rookie of the Year. It's
going to be a fascinating market. Both really good picks. I think Zach Wilson's going to do great things at the Jets, and they've been a team that's really struggled of late, and he's certainly going to give them hope. But there's a few guys I kind of want to point out. Najee Harris for me at Pittsburgh. I think he is going to be tremendous for them, and he really boosts their running game this year. I don't think we're going to see too much from Big Ben in terms of the throwing game, and I think when you've got a weapon like Najee Harris who can run the ball so well, and in his routes, and the way he moves and can get yardage, I think he's going to be someone. He might even be a bit similar to in his season this year to what we saw as Chase Claypool last year, who really blew up massively. Kyle Pitts for me. I'm a massive fan. I'm a lover of tight ends. I think he's got all the best parts of Travis Kelce and George Kittle kind of combined. This is a once in a generational tight end that we're going to see, and at Atlanta he's going to play immediately, and that offense looks really good. I think we're going to see big inroads from him, and I tell you what, if we're going to kind of signal out a defensive Rookie of the Year, your money should absolutely be going to Micah Parsons. There is him, daylight, everyone else. I do not see anyone coming close to Micah Parsons at the Cowboys for Defensive Player of the Year. And, Jaden Waddle at Miami, they've got some really good movement in terms of what their offense looks like. He's worth having a nibble on, I think. But if I had to go with one, look, you guys have stolen a bit from me. I'll go with Kyle Pitts just as a bit of an outsider here. But Nick, where's the market telling us we should go?
Well, Mac Jones has obviously been off the map overnight today since news come that he will start. I think he is a clear standout for me. I think he's the most NFL ready and will be coached up the best in a situation where he can win pretty early in his career. Trevor Lawrence, I think, will be the best quarterback in the league, and they come from a pretty low base. But I think it's going to take Urban Meyer a little while to adjust from the college game to the pro game. I think there's going to be a fair. I think the learning curve might be a little akin to Peyton Manning when he broke into the league there. It may turn out great, but I don't think it's all any bells and whistles at the start. Looking for a bit of value, 2 down the board in the offensive Rookie of the Year that I think are worth looking at. Trey Sermon, $26, will get a lot of carries at the Niners this year. I don't think it'll be long before he ascends to RB1 there. And Terrace Marshall Jr., he was outstanding for Carolina, but one of the leading receivers during the preseason. Has probably got himself up to wide receiver 3 at a team that is probably going to struggle this year. They're against a couple of high-powered offenses in the division. They'll be throwing the ball a lot. if Darnold can start right, and that's a big if, Marshall's going to get a fair bit of it, I think. So $67, I think you could have a few shekels on.
Thanks for joining us, guys, on show number 1. I'd like to thank Little Birdie, topsport.com.au. You can find us on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts from.